Hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We're so excited to go over our Client Engagement plus CRM webinar with you all today. Joining me is Kathy Crowley from AdvisorEngine. Kathy, thank you so much for joining us today. So thrilled to have you and to have this partnership with you all. It's been wonderful.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so excited for everybody that's joining us today to get a peek at PreciseFP and, of course, AdvisorEngine, and we're just really grateful for the partnership.
Absolutely. So we'll go ahead and just a little housekeeping before we get started. We'll be bringing Kathy back on to the webinar later on. We're going to go ahead and start with just a quick demo and presentation of the PreciseFP side of things. Then I'll bring Kathy back on so she can go over the AdvisorEngine side of things. And then we should have some time at the end for a Q&A session. We are recording this webinar. Everybody is on mute. So again, if you have any questions, we'll have Q&A at the end. Go ahead and pop those questions right into that GoToWebinar control panel. If we can't get to your questions at the end, we'll make sure to reach out to you as well. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started here with just kind of quickly introducing you to PreciseFP, especially those who are new. PreciseFP, what we are is simply a data gathering platform. We're there to really help advisors offload the work of collecting client information. We were actually founded 16 years ago in 2007. We've grown from just a simple, very basic financial questionnaire to a complete data management solution that really captures, validates, and securely stores client data. And we integrate with several applications, including our great partners, AdvisorEngine, as well as financial planning tools, so that as advisors, you can actually share client data between these applications with a click of a button and really get out of the data entry business, which is definitely what we're going to highlight today with the integration. So a lot of times people tend to think that we are just a fact-finding solution, and actually there's so much that's included in the cost of PreciseFP. I'll show this slide here. All of this that you're seeing here is included in the cost of PreciseFP. And like I mentioned before, when we first started out, we actually only had just one questionnaire available, and it wasn't even something that was able to be customized. So we've really evolved over the years with the help from advisors like you all that are joining us today to really make PreciseFP what it is today and really make the experience for your clients as well as you and your business much more efficient by having all of these really important pieces happening in one platform. So data collection and data entry actually represent 40% of the cost of creating a financial plan. And by using PreciseFP, this can actually eliminate this cost by removing, again, the burden of data gathering from you as the advisor. Your clients are actually going to be engaged if the experience is tailored to their needs, especially when it comes to your high net worth clients who more than likely just don't want to fill out the same generic questionnaire. So with PreciseFP, you really can go out there and create a guided experience by tailor-making the data gathering experience while also doing things like reducing NIGO, not in good order, by doing things like adding validated and required fields. And these are just some of the many benefits of using the PreciseFP platform for your business. So with that, let's go ahead and dive right into the platform. So let me switch my screen over here. Bear with me just a second. All right. So what we're going to be looking at now is the PreciseFP Advisor dashboard. What I always like to just kind of show from the beginning is our library full of templates that are ready to go and ready to be used with clients and prospects alike. So really, you could come out here and sign up for PreciseFP and immediately start using this with clients and with prospects. I'll get into the integration in just a moment here, but all of these templates that you're seeing out here, these are all available for you to use. If you'd like to take a look at any of them, it's just a matter of coming out here into the library, clicking on that template, doing a preview, and it opens it up right here in the dashboard for you so you can take a look at it. If this happens to be maybe a form that you like, that you would like to maybe use with clients and prospects, just a matter of coming out here and clicking on it and clicking on that install button. That then moves that from the library to your own My Templates, which is essentially just your own library that you've got of forms that you've either installed or customized or built out your own. So with the integration, what's really nice is the integration with AdvisorEngine is all managed here in PreciseFP. So that means you only have to come into the PreciseFP dashboard in the settings, and you can go under integrations, and all you have to do is come out here and enter in your AdvisorEngine credentials. And that's all that you have to do. Then you're ready to go, ready to use that integration with your clients and prospects. So as you can see here, looking at this, mine is already enabled. I already have my integration enabled with AdvisorEngine. So what does that mean when it says data import and export? That actually means that this is a bi-directional integration. And we'll talk about that a little more, but basically what that means is data can come in, import from AdvisorEngine into PreciseFP and export. So it can push data from PreciseFP right on over into AdvisorEngine. So just a little best practice tip for you. If you have somebody already over in your CRM, and let's say you want to do an update with them, what we would recommend is actually doing an import in from AdvisorEngine into PreciseFP. And then when you go and send them out a form, it would actually pre-fill out with data, making less work for your client, which they will be grateful for, so they don't have to fill in all of that information that you already have on file for them. Again, I can't tell you how frustrating and annoying that is. I always give this example, but when I take my kids to the dentist, I've got 2 children, they hand me that dreaded iPad every single time. And every single time I have to go through and I have to get in my wallet, I have to pull out my insurance information, my husband's insurance information. None of that is saved. None of that is pre-filled out for me. I have to go in and I have to manually key in all of that information all over again. And it's so irritating because I have to do it twice. It's not saved from one child to another. So make use of that data that you already have. Create less frustration for your clients by making use of that data. And I'll show you how we can do that, how we can do an import in and the benefits of that, because what happens is not only does the data actually pre-fill onto a form for a client, and they can make changes and add to it and submit it back, but what's really cool is now you're actually connected to the already existing record that you have for them over in your CRM. So then when you export back, if they made any changes, those update right into your already existing record for them. So you're not having to do any type of manual data entry anymore. So I just want to touch on that real quickly. When you saw that it says data import and export, that is what that means. That is a bi-directional integration there. So now let's go back to the library, because I wanted to showcase that we actually have a form that is built for the AdvisorEngine integration. So step number 1, definitely go out there, enable the integration. Step number 2 is you can come out here. This is actually one of our fact finders that we have. So if you look under the fact finder subsection here, you've got the AdvisorEngine logo on it. Again, you can take a preview of it just to see what it looks like, but when you're ready to actually use this, it's just a matter of clicking on that install button. And I actually have one already installed, so I am just gonna install a fresh version of it right to my templates. I'm not gonna dive too much into the editor just for time today, but there is so much that you really can do to make this form your own. Again, kind of going back to what I was saying initially, really makes it so that you can, PreciseFP is a fully customizable solution, so that makes it so that you can really stand out. And if you really need to come out here and even create a specific form for a specific client, that is definitely something you can do. So even though this form is structured for the AdvisorEngine integration, what we mean by that is this has all of the fields that map back and forth between the integration on it. But let's say maybe you've got a client that's coming through that doesn't have any children. So you could do things like, removing this question and removing the entire children section here of the form. That is not going to have any negative impact on the rest of the data still being able to map over to AdvisorEngine. So what I have seen working with thousands of advisors over the years is they may make like, this form and edit it and save it and then go to the library and install that AdvisorEngine form again. And then maybe, if they've got another situation where they're working with maybe widows and widowers, so they'll do things like, removing the marital status from here and removing the option to gather data for the co-client. So things like that you can definitely do to really create that tailor-made data gathering experience and really make you stand out, because not everybody has the same situation. So you really can come out here and easily customize these to your client's needs. However you want. You can, if you wanted to come out here and rename this field, that's something that you can do here. And going back to what I was saying, reducing NIGO, because this is, data that you can gather and not only send to your CRM, but you can send it to your financial planning software. And then we work with custodians to fill out account opening paperwork. So we want to do everything that we possibly can to get in good and valid data, right? So what you can do on these fields too is, this one is a great example. It's got this little red asterisk here. That means that this field is mandatory. So that makes it so that the client actually can't skip over that, meaning they can't submit the form until we get data there. Another thing that this field is this is actually a field that has validation to it, this email field here. This is an example of a field that does. So for example, if I, as the client, put in Courtney.com, it would actually reject that data. It would not allow me as the client to move forward and complete this form. So we're ensuring that to the best that we can, make sure that you're getting in good, proper, and valid data, because this is going to be able to go to multiple avenues for you. So the editor here, as you're going along and making changes, it does auto save for you. There's so much that can be done, folks. I mean, you can change the colors, you can brand it with your logo. I'm just kind of scratching the surface here in regards to editing, and you can even do things like combining forms. So if you do have like the CRM form here, maybe you want to pull in like the risk tolerance form, that's something that you can do too. So there's a lot of different ways that you can go out there and create these data gathering forms. But with this one, let's say we're good, we are done. Now we want to send this out to a client or a prospect. Well, how do we get clients or prospects into PreciseFP? Like I was mentioning with the AdvisorEngine integration, it is bidirectional, and best practice is if you have somebody that's already in your CRM, we would recommend doing an import in from AdvisorEngine into PreciseFP, because that will bring over the data that you already have on file for them from AdvisorEngine into PreciseFP, into their profile here. That way, when you go to engage that particular client with a form, which I will do here just so you folks can see what that actually looks like here. Let me create the form for this client. This will actually pull it up into edit mode for me as the advisor, so I can take a look at it before it actually goes out to my client. And I can see all of this information that came over from, excuse me, I did an import from AdvisorEngine before we got on the webinar, but what it can do is you can see here is it's pre-filling in that information that I had on file for my client from my CRM into this PreciseFP form. So my client's going to appreciate the fact that this is already pre-filled out with the information that I already have on file for them. And if the client makes any changes on this, whatever that may be, you know, maybe they got a new mobile number, or maybe they moved and they've got a new address, and they go to the end of the form and they submit that back to you, what happens is, one, you would actually get an email alert letting you know that the client has completed the form. And then two, what you can do is you can come back into PreciseFP and go to their profile, and then any changes that the client did do, we actually highlight that for you. We let you know, hey, in this section, there's been some modifications or brand new data. We highlight that for you, and then the individual field will highlight as well. So you can see what was there previously and what is there currently. And then what you can do is you can export right back on over to, in this case, AdvisorEngine. So what happens is I'm actually linked up to their already existing record in AdvisorEngine, because if you recall, what I did is I imported them in. You didn't see me do it, but I did. I imported them in. So I imported them in from AdvisorEngine. I just searched for them by last name, clicked on their account, and clicked on the import button. And then all of their information came over that I have on file for them from AdvisorEngine into PreciseFP. I sent them out the AdvisorEngine specific form. We saw that it was pre-filled out. What happens is your client actually gets a link to the form out of PreciseFP. That link is tablet mobile friendly, that form is. It also auto saves for them as they're going along and filling it out, so they don't have to worry about continuously hitting a save button. And because we alert you via email, you don't have to continuously be logged into PreciseFP to check status. But if you want to, there is a spot here where you can actually keep track of where your clients are in regard to their forms. So we tell you, when's the last time maybe they accessed it? When's the last time an email reminder went out? How much of it have they filled out, and so on and so forth. But yes, when they fill out the form and complete it, you would get an email alert. Again, you could come into their profile and see exactly what information they updated, if any, and then click on that export button, and then it will push the information on over to back into their existing record for you. So that's how the integration works with AdvisorEngine and PreciseFP. Again, just kind of scratching the surface as to all that PreciseFP can do, but just taking a look at the library, you can get a really good sense of all the different ways that you can go out here and use PreciseFP. The fact finding and the integrations is definitely a huge component, but we've got folks who may use this as like a lead gen solution, a survey solution, a risk tolerance and IPS solution, an onboarding solution. So there's definitely a lot of different ways that you can go out there and use that data in multiple avenues. So with that, I just wanted to also mention that we do offer a free trial period. So if you are a brand new user and you're an AdvisorEngine user, you can actually mention this webinar, or if you haven't signed up for a trial, you can actually just go out to precisefp.com and just mention this webinar. And then what we'll do is we'll actually extend you from our traditional 7 days to a full 30-day trial. And that offer never expires. So if you're watching this in the future on a playback, you can always sign up for a trial. Just mention that you're an AdvisorEngine user and you saw this webinar, send us a chat message, and we would be more than happy to go out there and extend that trial for you. All right, with that being said, that's it for me. Kathy, I'm going to go ahead and bring you back on the line here, and then I'm going to pass it on over to you.
All right. Thank you guys so much. All right, I am going to share my screen. So what you see on the screen right now, it's just so funny. As Courtney is talking, there are so many similar phrases that you're going to hear about AdvisorEngine that also pertains to PreciseFP. So when Courtney talks about kind of just scratching the surface and being able to customize and import, all those things, you're going to hear that when I go through AdvisorEngine as well. Now today, we're going to focus on the CRM part in particular because that's where our PreciseFP integration is housed. But when you think about AdvisorEngine, just a couple things. I want you to understand that we are a full end-to-end wealth management platform. And while we're going to focus on the CRM today, I do offer the whole portfolio management suite, which includes that performance reporting and rebalancing, your fee billing. We offer the digital onboarding. We've got amazing connections with the custodians on our portfolio management suite, as well as in the CRM. We've got those planning and investing tools, a client portal for your clients, and of course the business management piece really surrounds all of that. And we're going to talk a little bit about that here in the demo. So when you think about AdvisorEngine, really, like I said, we do offer the full platform. But for those of you that have not started using any part of our platform yet, we don't want to be just a vendor for you. We are really looking to partner with you. And here's what that means to us. You spend, I recognize some names on the that are attending here today, and you spend a lot of time with me up front. And we talk through the CRM or our portal or the billing. We talk about all those things on our platform. And you spend a lot of time with us up front. You do demos, maybe you do a trial. But really the most important piece is what happens after that. So after you've selected AdvisorEngine, I want you to know that we have our people and our processes really set up to be your partner. So not just a vendor. So you have a relationship manager. We have full training and onboarding where we can bring your data in from other sources. And of course, we want to make sure that you're utilizing as much of our platform as you want to. So we're going to make sure that you're trained properly. And then of course, ongoing support after that. Pretty proud of our support team. They consistently get 98% satisfaction on all of our client surveys, and we get a ton of those back. And what does that mean, that satisfaction? Well, it means number one, we try to really answer every phone call when it comes in. Now, obviously sometimes that's not possible, but you can leave a message, but you can call us. Our support team, they sit right across the room from me in Raleigh, North Carolina, with the exception of a couple that are also in other parts of the country. And it's just really amazing because they just really strive to take really good care of our clients. So when you think about AdvisorEngine and kind of why we want to partner with you, and the bottom line is that we've surveyed over 400 firms, and when we think about and what we're told what your biggest strategic goals are in the coming years, and then how can we support those initiatives, it really falls into these three buckets. And the three buckets are that client experience, making sure that you've got insight into those client life events, making it easier to connect with your clients, being able to see who is doing what for who. That operational excellence, making sure you can scale appropriately, perhaps drive down some of your servicing costs. And of course, that revenue growth, if for those of you that are in growth mode, monitoring that pipeline. We have an amazing lead concierge where over time you can definitely see where you're winning, why you're winning, where's your new AUM coming from. And so the approach that we really take on that is really building out for those different roles that are within your firm. So of course, those of you that are principals in your firm, you really need to be able to see data that's going to allow you to make business decisions. For those of you that are finding it for advisors, right, you want to be able to quickly add notes onto the record. Maybe you want to see your pipeline of new clients coming in. Maybe you want to make sure that you're doing all the things that you can to retain your clients. And then of course, for all of you operations managers out there, you want to be able to make sure that everybody in your firm, when they're touching a client, that what actions are being done, how long is it taking for those things to be completed, is there any bottleneck in your processes? And I'm going to show you exactly how we do that for you. So let me pop into the demo. First, I'm going to start a little bit high level. So for those of you that are operations managers, I'm going to start here. We have some amazing dashboards. And when you think about those, our dashboards, we've made them very easy for you to put together. And what I mean by that is that we do have some widgets that are already built for you. And we do have some different dashboards already configured for you. Again, completely configurable. So in each widget, I can decide what kind of data I want to see, and then of course what time frame I want to see that. So depending on the type of widget. So for the operations folks out there, maybe you want to see the total amount of actions. I want to see all my client reviews that are coming up. I want to make sure that my advisors are prepped for that. I want to see all the actions that my employees are doing. So if I want to pop in and let's see everything Kathy's done here, now I can, with one click, I can do a deep dive and I can see all the different things that Kathy has done for her clients over whatever that time period is. I can also make sure that from a one loss perspective that we're really making sure we're keeping our clients. And then if I want to have some additional widgets here, I can do that as well. Now, some of you out there are a little more interested in maybe that high level. So for those of you that are principals, so being able to say, you like that fun confetti? So, your whole business dashboard, tracking that AUM by advisor, being able to see what are your firm's overall goals. We have some firms now that used to put together fancy spreadsheets, maybe a PowerPoint, and now they're able to do those quarterly business reviews right from here, right from within the AdvisorEngine CRM. So being able to see your entire business here, managed, non-managed accounts, your accounts by investment model, all of those things that you need to really get a view of your business. And I think really the net of what you need to understand about our dashboards and about all of the reporting here in the CRM is that if the data is here, then we've either, number one, already built a report around it, already built a dashboard around that, or we have given you a way where we can actually create that for you. So there's really some great things here. Now, those of you that want to be able to see, okay, well, what is happening with my new business coming in? So being able to track your projected versus actual revenue. If you want, I have a really simple sales process here, but no matter how complex your process is, just know that we can really facilitate that. And even here, I can see all of my open opportunities. And again, clicking into each of these widgets, I can get more information and I can see exactly where's my projected versus actual, what's happening inside the channels here. So again, this business is giving you the ability to see exactly what is happening. All right, I think my microphone's back. So now you can see all of those. And again, I can click into any of these buckets and easily see more data here. All right, one more dashboard I'm going to show you before giving you just a tour of the client record. For those of you that will need to be able to see exactly what is on your to-do list for today. So you can see here, I can see all of my actions. We've even built in some nifty shortcuts I'm going to show you here, but I can easily click to complete these actions for those things that don't require additional verbiage. But for those things I might want to add some more notes onto, I can simply click on this ID and it's going to pop open in another window for me. And so now I can pop right in and add all of my actions here for everything we've done. So when I pop into edit, now if I can also reassign this over to somebody else. So again, no, it doesn't really matter the level of complexity of your processes. I can easily pop in. I'm going to use my Control J. I'm going to time and date stamp in my action. And I'm going to add my notes here. And then if I need to add another action, I can. If this is done, I can simply complete it and off I go. We're going to talk a little bit more about actual workflow and processes here in a few minutes. But before I do that, let me give you a tour of the client record. Now, what you're seeing on the left-hand side is a navigation bar that's going to get you to any part of the client record. And then across the top here, I can see all of my drop-downs where all of that data is housed. So we're on the summary page. This reminder area, there's some pretty nifty things you can do here. First, this is data you want to make sure that everybody sees. Maybe you want to keep restrictions here, maybe power of attorney, but I can easily pop in. If you see when I move my cursor around, this little pencil is going to pop up. And this allows you to quickly add anything. So if I want to add a reminder here, maybe George and Sally are on vacation until the 15th. So I can say George and Sally on vacation. Now, on the right-hand side, you'll see there's an expiration date. You can see in the other things I have here, that's blank. And what's great about this is being able to add that expiration date allows me to really help keep my database clean. So now on this date, it's automatically going to come off my reminders there. So a great way for you to make sure that you're keeping your database clean. That'll come off on the 15th, and you can see that expiration date on the far right side. Now we do household your clients here. So when you think about that form, the form that Courtney was showing you, being able to fill out who is some record data, your person 1 and person 2, and all of that data will flow right here onto the client record. So if there is already a record, then you'll get the opportunity to match up that data and update the record. Or when you import from PreciseFP, then you'll have the opportunity to create a new record. And so you'll have the record card here, person 1 and person 2. Now let's talk about configuration for a moment. One of the things I love about our CRM is that, again, it doesn't really matter the level of complexity of your business. For some of you out there, our opportunity area probably won't interest you. Maybe you're by referral only, and that's just not an area that you're going to be utilizing. Well, you can actually customize the entire client record here. So not only can you decide what you see in this navigation bar, you get to decide what you see going across the top, and you get to decide what you see in your record card and person 1 and person 2. I'm going to show you how easy it is to do this. So you'll pop over to your settings and you'll go to your record layout configuration. Now from here, in that example, if I don't need to see opportunities, I click the X and boom, off it goes. We also have some widgets available for you. So let's say I don't need to see my opportunity widget. I can remove that, and then I can move things around. So again, giving you the ability to really customize your entire client record experience. The same thing with the record card and your person 1 and person 2. I can pop right in here. I can move some things around for items I don't need. So maybe you just have one office, so I don't need to have that on here. I can have up to 15 fields, even my custom fields. So your subscription with us is unlimited data and document storage, unlimited support, unlimited custom fields. And so for those things I don't need, again, simply click the X and off it goes. And then if I want to add something else, then I simply click and there it is. The joke I typically make here is that what's really nice is that I don't need to know fancy words like Java and C++ in order to really be able to configure the record the way I want to. Now, the other nifty thing, because there's two things about that you're probably wondering. So first you might be wondering, well, that's great, Kathy, but can I control who can do that? The answer is yes. And number two, can people decide that they want to have their own view? And the answer is yes. So you can decide if you want to allow the firm, have a firm-wide layout or allow individuals to have their view, which is pretty nifty. All right, this detail area, this is going to show you all of that know your client information, addresses, phone numbers, relationships, so your associates and your informational contacts. You can have custom fields here. Now we give you several different places in the program to have custom fields, and this is where it is on the client record. My workflow dropdown. This is where I can see everything that I have done or are doing for the client. I can see all my recurring actions. So all of those birthdays, RMD actions, so all of those annual things or monthly or however often recurring actions. The workflow monitor, this allows you to see on the client record all the different workflow that the client is engaged with. So I can easily pop in and see all the things we've done for this particular workflow. And then of course, if I want to be able to see our service monitor, this is again is another differentiator. What this allows you to do is to automate your processes. So, and I'm going to talk a bit more, show you where that's housed. But with the service monitor, these are all the different services my client gets, the descriptor, how often, and I can see, where we are with all of that. So not only can I see on the client record where we are with that service monitor, but I can also see it globally. And I'm going to show you that report as well. This financial dropdown is going to be all of that, your assets. So if you're bringing that in from, if you're using our entire platform, of course, it'll flow over from the AdvisorEngine platform, and we can bring that data in, obviously, from any of the custodians, and then it can flow right over. Or if you're using Orion, Black Diamond, maybe you're still using Portfolio Center, Advent, any of those, we can bring that data in. Your estate planning, any of that financial engagement. So this is going to house that data. The opportunities, again, that we have a great lead concierge. So you can bring your prospect data in from PreciseFP, and then of course track those opportunities, and then have that business fall into your onto the dashboard where you can really track all that new business. Now, earlier I said unlimited data and document storage. So not only do we have unlimited document storage, we do offer a folder structure, but it's completely configurable. But of course, we also have integrations with like Laserfish and Citrix ShareFile for you to be able to kind of be able to see those documents that you have for the client there as well. And it opens up in an area very similar to this, where on the left-hand side, you'll see the Laserfish or your Citrix folders, and then be able to see those documents here. Two ways to get documents in. You can click the upload document button, or we also have a click and drag feature here. Although technically three, because we do have a great integration with Outlook. So if somebody sends you an email with a document, it will automatically attach here as well. So let's talk about emails for a second. Again, we do have an amazing connection with Outlook where you can decide if you want to auto capture that email. You can also manage it from within here. Our integration with 365 is pretty great. So not only can you do the auto capture, but I can also see my 365 box. In fact, let me pop over and show that to you. I can actually see my 365 box here within the CRM. And from here, let's say that I need to, maybe you and a CPA are going back and forth about a client's taxes. I can easily pop in and I can actually link that over to a record. And so if this belongs on Bruce Springsteen's record, I can go ahead, I can add that action here as well, and then go ahead and attach. So it'll automatically attach that. And then if I need to assign that over to somebody else, the email will already be attached. You can also do mass emailing or email an individual right from here. Now, one differentiator on that as well is that when you email from within the CRM, it's still going to go out from your Outlook. And it's going to go out from your Outlook and then out to your client or your prospect. And even when you send a mass email, it's going to look like each individual person got that. So we don't do the whole blind carbon copy. We don't, ours doesn't work that way. It's a direct integration. And even if somebody leaves your firm or if they delete it from their email box, as long as it was already captured in the CRM, even if somebody deletes it out of their inbox, it'll still remain here. So again, we have a really nice integration with Outlook. Now, I want popped over here into the record actions. I just want to kind of give you a view of what that looks like. So here I have mine sorted by enter date because I like to see the latest and greatest first. And this is going to show me everything. So you can see we had some money due here. We had a market update that we sent out. I've got a verification that we're working on. So I can click into that action and I can see this is part of a workflow. Now, this is a 6-step process. Now, here's what's great about the processes too. Again, it doesn't really matter the level of complexity. I have this in a step-down form, so you can see that we're on step number 3 here. You can see by the check marks that steps 1 and 2 were taken care of. So I'm going to pop in and take care of this. I'm going to show you what happens when you have kind of a multi-steps like this with dependencies built in. So I'm going to use, again, my nifty Control J, and all right, so I took care of this, working with jacket, TD, and now I'm going to hit complete. Now, because there's dependencies built in here, we also do have a really nice FYI feature, some types and categories. Again, we will cover all that with you. I'm going to click save. Now, because there's some other steps, it's going to say, great, Kathy, are you ready to go ahead and add this, add the next step? Why, yes, I am, AdvisorEngine. And so now we can see that that transfer has been sent out and that's been assigned out to Taylor for them to take care of this next step. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the workflow, but that's just how it manifests itself here. And of course, I would always be able to see that on my to-do list as well from my dashboard, or I can go over to my actions here. So for those of you in operations, not only can all of your individual employees be able to see exactly what they're working on, but for you as well, you can see, here's everything that's assigned over to Taylor, here's everything that Kathy is working on. And so if I want to be able to see here's what Sue has on her plate. So again, being able to really see what everybody is working on. And then all of these areas, you get to decide how you want to see that data. So you'll get to decide what columns, and you can export any of these out to Excel. You can save your different views, all from over there. Now, I'm going to pop back over the client record. I want to show you 2 more nifty things that we built in. One of the things that we hear from folks is, oh my gosh, there's so many mouse clicks to do everything. Well, we've heard you. As a matter of fact, all of our enhancement requests, quite frankly, come from our client base. And so earlier when I was moving my cursor around, you can see that little pencil popping up. So we've even built in some really nice inline editing. So for example, Sally calls me, she says, Kathy, I've got a new phone number. I'm gonna pop right in. And now I can make a change. I click my save button and boom, off I go. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner here, it shows I've saved Sally's phone number. Now, I typically get two different reactions to this. One, some of you are like, yes, finally. And then of course, there's a faction of you that are freaking out a little bit. You're like, okay, great, Kathy, but can I control who can do that? The answer is yes. And of course, is there an audit log? And again, the answer is yes. We have an amazing audit log where you're gonna be able to track everything that every single person did. It'll even show you what was in that field previously and then what it was updated to. So just know that we definitely have you covered. And you even get to control who has the ability, of course, to do the inline editing. But I think my favorite addition, and honestly, I feel like this came from mostly advisors who said, I would love to do more in my CRM, but I feel like it's too hard. I feel like I always have to kind of kick off an action or kick off a workflow. Well, now literally with 0 mouse clicks, you can actually open up an action and be able to add all of your different actions. So let's say I'm in the record space here. Maybe I want to send an email out to my gold level clients. And then I remember, oh my gosh, on my way in today, I got a phone call from a client. I need to add that onto the client record. And so with 0 mouse clicks, with literally some keystrokes, I can open up a blank action here. And I was like, oh yeah, this is on Alex Smith's. And Alex called me today about a 529 plan for his young kids. And so now I can add my notes here on my discussion with Alex. Now from here, if I need to assign action out, maybe I need Angie back in the office, maybe I need Angie to do something for me. I can say, Angie, please do ABC per my notes. And so now I can simply pop over here. I click action required, and every single action can be assigned to a role or an individual, and there's no limit to the number of roles that you might have in a firm. So I'm going to assign that over to Angie. I'll make it due today so it shows up on her to-do list. If I want to have an FYI to somebody, I can do that as well. And again, boom, off I go. So literally with 0 mouse clicks, I was able to do that. I just went, I did my Shift Option W and opened up a blank record. Now, you're like, okay, Kathy, that was magical. It was indeed magical. But actually, it also comes from up here in the top right corner. This is the quick create button. And so from here with 2 clicks, I can kick off a workflow, I can add a new record, or I can open up an opportunity. And if you'll see below that, it'll actually show me what keystrokes. So for some folks out there, you prefer to use your keystrokes instead of always having to use a mouse. And this is probably one of my favorite features that we have, of being able to just quickly add something, either add a note onto a client record, kick off a workflow, add a record. We've just really, I think, done a really good job of reducing the number of mouse clicks. So let's think about, I'm going to kind of take us a step back for a minute here. And I want to talk about the workflow monitor in my last few minutes here, and then kind of the workflow setup. So like I showed you on the client record earlier, now maybe I want to see globally what's happening with a specific workflow. So you can see here in that same example with that account transferring in, we have several new accounts, yay us, and maybe I want to see what's going on with them. So if I want to see what's going on with Richard, I simply click here. Okay, look at this, great. Now, this is one area, this is a great report to pull up in that Monday or Friday meeting. I can say, okay, great, we've got the details. We're on the paperwork step here, and I can see that's been assigned to Taylor for him to take care of. And I can see all of the notes in one area here. So now I get a complete view of all of my new accounts and exactly where we are. So with Solomon and Piper, we're on that transfer complete area. We can see that sitting with Kathy for her to take care of. So again, just a really nice, clean area for you to be able to see everything. Now you can have several workflows here. You can look at them one at a time. You can save all of your different views. And then of course, you know, when you think about that, you can see I have this as a 6-step process. And again, it doesn't matter if you what the level of complexity. So I'm going to pop us over into the setup here. Now we've got 20 to 25 workflow already built in for you, so you don't have to start from scratch. I'm going to show you just a couple of examples. We have something that's pretty simple, like a gift to a client. Now, as I pop into, this is a one-step just kind of process here, one-step action. You can see I've got some verbiage already built in. Now you might like this verbiage, you might want to change that up. Anything we've built for you, you can go in and edit. You can delete the things you don't like. It's completely up to you. So we have some simple ones built in like this one, but we also have some things that are a little more complex, like an account retitling or a client termination, right? So a client termination, there's several things you have to do when somebody is not going to be your client any longer. So on the left-hand side here under the summary, you'll see I have the first kind of 4 all come in a step down process, but then these last 2 are up there with the second one. So these 3 things can happen in tandem, but there's some dependencies built in. So again, it doesn't matter the level of complexity. We've either built the workflow for you, we can help you build it, or we'll build it for you and make it accessible. So again, it doesn't matter the level of complexity. Every step can be assigned to a role or an individual. And then of course we have global tracking for all those as well. Now, when you think about kind of when I say global tracking, I'm going to talk about a couple of different things. One is that in this record space, this is my gold level clients. So from here, I can do a couple of things. I can en masse add a record here. I can do a whole email. And so I can do everything right from here. Now, you can see on the right-hand side, there is the export to Excel. I have the save icon, a folder, and of course now I can send a mass email right from here as well. Now when you think about the reporting, so we've got some reports already built in for you, but you can also create your own. So with I can do a quick search or an advanced search right from here. That quick search might be something simple like maybe I just want to see a list of all of my clients where I did an import from PreciseFP. So I can build out an easy report just like that. Your advanced search is going to be something more along using your and or statements. So maybe I want to see a list of all of my clients that live in California and have a specific stock option that I'm tracking. So again, just really being able to do all of that right from here. And of course, we've built in those reports that of course you need. Your birthday list, you're going to need that birthday list. Of course, you're going to want to see some time reports, maybe your last contact report. Again, we've built all of that in here for you. And of course, you can always do some custom reporting with the report builder. And we built all that in, again, giving you the customization and the flexibility to make sure that you can run your business exactly the way that you want to. All right, I know we are kind of coming up on the end of time here, so I am going to pass this back over to Courtney. But before I do that, I just want to say thank you guys so much for attending the webinar today. I would love to talk with you guys individually. Feel free to call or email me, and I'm going to leave that QR code up for just a moment for you to quickly grab your phone and go ahead and bookmark that. So when you're ready to set up a one-on-one time with us, we would be delighted to have that conversation with you. And again, we're just really delighted to partner with PreciseFP. It's a really nice integration, and again, they make great partners. And we look forward to talking with you guys one-on-one. But Courtney, with that, I will turn it back over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Kathy. I appreciate that. So yeah, absolutely. I definitely echo what Kathy said. You know, we appreciate the partnership. It's a wonderful integration, as you saw. Definitely a lot of customizations that you can do, and really just makes it, again, so that you can get out of having to do any of that dreaded manual data entry that nobody likes to do. So hopefully you got the ideas there and some inspiration. I didn't see any questions come through, so I will just kind of skip ahead to this slide here. I've got our support email for both PreciseFP as well as for AdvisorEngine. I know Kathy put her information up as well. We also have live chat support where you can actually reach myself or my support team. We're there Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time. So even if you're just out browsing our website and a question comes up, just hit that chat icon in the lower right-hand corner, and myself, my team, more than happy to help along the way. Kathy, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate everything that you showed us. Thank you so much for being, again, just a wonderful partner. We really appreciate you and your team.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon. Take care.